वर्णिवेशरमणीयदर्शनं मन्दहासरुचिरात्मनाम्बुजं पूजितं सुरनरोत्तमैर्मुदा धर्मनन्दनमहं विचिन्तये। प्रभु तव मूर्ति विनोदकारी, पलपन विसरे नहीं जो विसारी। जुगल चरण सोड़ चिन्ह जेह, नजर समीपे रहो अमारी एह। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर, गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। बोलो श्री स्वामीनारायण भगवाननी जय, श्री हरि कृष्ण महाराजनी जय, श्री ठाकुर जी महाराजनी जय, श्री घनश्याम महाराजनी जय, श्री सद्गुरुदेवनी जय, श्री 500 परमहंसनी जय। Supreme Almighty, our beloved Thakurji Maharaj, Ghanshyam Maharaj, all the divine Sadgurus from our divine Muktanandiya Parampara, Pathmaker to our liberation, Pujyapat Guruji, and all of you devotees, Jai Swaminarayan. We know the world is set, motion, run, sustain, everything happens only and only according to the Niyams, meaning the rules. Without the rules, nothing happens in this world. Moreover, even when we observe our day-to-day activities, our day-to-day behavior, then we can find most of our time spent according to the rules, according to the Niyams. But sometimes, most of the people, they have the tendency to break the laws, break the rules. Why? They have no answer. But most of the people, they have this tendency not to follow the rules. And most likely, those who are Indian origin, they have this kind of tendency in their blood. So whenever they got a chance, they most likely try to break the rules. But in actual fact, to follow the rules, to follow the laws, that's for the benefit of our own self. No doubt, by following the laws, following the rules, we also give something to others, meaning becoming helpful to others. But before that, we our own self also get the benefit by following the rules. On this topic of profound effect of Niyams, Sriji Maharaj has said many things in the Siksapatri as well as in the Vachanamrut. Why? Because the Niyams, the rules, also very, very important for the devotional life, or we can say for the satsang. Why? Because without following the rules, no one can sustain in any religious gathering or in any religious sect or in any religious assembly, or whoever act or whoever behave without the rules, then no one can accept his or her behavior. And that's why we must have to follow the rules. That's why today we are going to learn the profound effect of Niyams. Let we see what kind of rules most of us sometimes, not every time, but sometimes try to avoid, or sometimes merely with no reason, with no excuse, Just for fun, we are breaking the rules. Let me see in this video, we can easily watch or introspect our own self. In these videos, the guys who are breaking the rules, he is not any particular person, but instead of him, we can put our own self and try to remember, try to go back in our past, whether I have did the same thing in my life or not. In this way, by watching this video, we have to introspect for our own self, whether I have break the rules or not. Let me see what the guy is doing in the video. So in this video we have watched the guy who is always breaking the rules. What is the instruction, what is the notice? He didn't like, even after watching, even after considering, like here it is said not to do this, and that guy is doing the same thing. It was not that guy, but sometimes our own self, we are doing the same thing. If it is said in the Siksabhatri not to eat this kind of food, and some of the people, they have like different kind of thoughts in their mind, and so they thought, why it is said not to eat this thing, let me try. Sometimes it is said during the Sibir or during the boys gathering in the Mandir, do not use this door, only use this door. And on the other hand, what you are doing, when what the door you are not going to use, the same door you are going to use. Why? This is our tendency. We need to change our mentality to break the rules. Let me see in the another video, the same guy is doing the same thing in another video. Okay, that guy is doing the same thing again, but by doing this thing, what he got? Nothing, just fun. This is for the world, but think for our religious. Like, if this guy is doing only for the fun and breaking rules of this world, suppose he got an accident, or sometimes he fell down, or something happened to him, in this way something can done. But if suppose we are not following the rules which is in the satsang, then what happened? we can fall down in the satsang. No, sometimes we might be avoided. We might be ignored by the satsangis. And if we do not want to happen this in our life, we must have to follow the Niyams. There are like thousands of people, millions of people who are not following any religious rules. But we are not like those people. We are totally different from those. Why? Because we are specially selected. We are specially chosen by Bhagwan himself to follow this righteous path, follow the path towards God himself. And if we want to be a part of this journey, we have to follow the niyams prescribed by Bhagwan himself. Moreover, some niyams prescribed by Bhagwan himself and some niyams given by our Sadgurus, Santos. Those are the practical niyams. In next slide, let we see, and there is a question. Imagine a world with no rules. Imagine a world without any rules. We simply say there is no anything happen in this world without rules, without laws. You cannot drive a car without rules. You cannot walk on the walkways without rules. You cannot purchase anything from the store without rules. Meaning you cannot do anything in this world without rules. Or if suppose you have got any idea like you are doing that thing without following the rules, give me an example. No one has any examples regarding this imagination. Imagination of a world without rules. Rules are very important in today's day and age. Why? Just as you are using a computer, you are using your mobile, your smartphone. You want to call your friend, and you got a new phone, and you do not have store his phone number in your new device. You're dialing manually like 478 this. Suppose you have missed only one of the digit of the number. Instead of dialing 2, you are dialing 1. What happened? Definitely you make a wrong number. Why this happened? It has a particular rules. If you want to talk with this guy, you have to dial this number. If you have break the rules, you definitely cannot get the benefit of the device. Same way in the computer. If you have locked the screen and you forgot the PIN number you have got for the unlock the screen, what happened? Even though you are trying many times, nothing happened. Why? It's the rules, it's the laws, it's niyams, nothing else. If you want to unlock the screen, you must have to enter this pin, this. The same way, most of the thing in the satsang happen according to niyam. If without following niyams, we are not getting anything from this satsang. Even though we are passing many years in this satsang, still we are what we are today. There is nothing can be changed in our life, meaning no benefit will be given to us. Why? Because we have not followed the rules. Next slide. Yes, top level. Maharaj says in the Siksapatri, whoever follows the rules, they are considered as mine, meaning they are considered as a devotee of this fellowship. And those whoever not following this Siksapatri, they are not considered as a part or as a member of this fellowship. Meaning, it's simple. If you follow the rules, you are a satsangi. If you are following the rules, you are a devotee. And if you are not following the rules, you automatically consider as excommunicated from the satsang. No one is there to tell you you are not following the rules and that's why you are excommunicated from this community of the satsang. It's automatically you are avoided. That's why we must need to follow the rules. And concept has been around for a very long time. Moreover, just as we are considering this principle for the satsang, the same thing happen in the big companies in the world. Whether it may be Apple, Best Buy, Ferrari, any company, they are all the companies, they are also like running on the basis of particular rules and niyams. All the employees, they must have to follow the niyams of the company. Same way, we have to follow the niyams of the satsang. There are several different kinds of niyams in the satsang, but most of them, let me see what says in the Vachanamrut. Next slide please. Niyams in satsang, Sriji Maharaj himself says in Garuda 2nd chapter 61. Sriji Maharaj says, thereupon Sriji Maharaj said, a person who possesses 3 attributes can be called a stone satsangi. What are these 3 attributes? The first is to strictly adhere to the niyams prescribed by one's Ishtadev to such an extent that one would never forsake those disciplines even at the cost of one's life. This is extremely precise definition of niyams given by Sriji Maharaj himself in the Vachanamrut. Maharaj says, even though one would never forsake those disciplines at the cost of one's life, meaning you must have to follow the niyams. That's it. There is no option, Maharaj says in short. So considering this Agnya of Maharaj, we must have to be cautious by following the niyams. Sometimes what happens? Even though we are not willing to disregard the niyams or disregard the commandments of Bhagwan or Satpurus, but we are not be cautious to follow the niyams, and that's why we are knowingly or sometimes unknowingly disregard the niyams. But as a devotee, we are regularly in the puja read the Siksapatri. So most of the niyams written in the Siksapatri, we are very much aware for our rules to follow. Some of the niyams, some of like the knowledge regarding the niyams which are not written in the Siksapatri, they were given like they were discussed by Santo during the Katha, as well as sometimes Puja Guruji. Whenever you meet Guruji, Puja Guruji also give you some niyams, like you should do 108 times mantra jap, or this, whatever he says. But those niyams, if we follow, then great benefit happen in our life. In another Vachanamrut Gada last chapter 25th, a true devotee who can be called perfect or true devotee of God. The characteristic written in that Vachanamrut: a devotee does not regress even slightly from the worship of God, Niyam, Dharma or Shraddha, but on the contrary progresses with time, then he is called a true devotee. Meaning, even though any kind of adverse circumstances happen in the life of a devotee, but he does not regress even slightly from the worshipping God and following his niyam. So that's why this is very important for us, because Maharaj has not given any option for following the niyams. Meaning we must have to follow. There is no any excuses, there is no any alternative thing to follow niyams. Nothing. Bhagwan has given only one option. If you do not, or if you want to follow the niyams, but sometimes you have any particular kinds of situation happen to your life, and if you are not able to follow the niyams, you must go to the Satpurus. You must reveal your situation to him and pray to him. I have this situation, please let me know what I can do to follow these niyams. Or please suggest me what should I do in this situation. Then whatever Satpurus says, that's niyam for you. Otherwise, we all have to follow the niyams. Next slide. Gunaditanand Swami also says, if commands are transgressed, misery is encountered. This is very simple logic, this is very simple thing. Why? Because this happens in our day-to-day life as well. In this world, suppose you are driving a car and you have seen a red light, and still you are moving, you are going ahead. What happened? You definitely got an accident. The same thing written here. If commands are transgressed, misery is encountered. When one gets a favor, the body burns, and when niyams are transgressed, both the body and jiva burn. Meaning, whenever you have something happen to your body due to fever or something else, only pain happen into your body. But when we are not following commands given by Maharaj and his Ekantik Satpurus, at that time our body as well as our jiva, our soul, they both have pain. What kind of pain? Disturbing in the journey towards Bhagwan. That's the pain for the soul. Enjoying the divine bliss of Akshardham, that is meaning obstacle in enjoying the divine happiness of Akshardham, that is the burn for the soul, for the jiva. That's why we must have to follow the commands of Bhagwan. Next, let me see examples of Paramahansas. Examples of Paramahansas. Our Adi Gurudev Muktanand Swami. His life is totally full of devotion towards Bhagwan as well as his Guru. When he entered the satsang, at that time, merely by following the commandments given by his Guru Ramanand Swami, he had work in the farm of Modubai or Satsangi. He had not make an arguments with his Guru Ramanand Swami, like, Swami, I do not know how to work in the farm. I have never did this work. I have never performed this job. He never make any kind of arguments. Moreover, he was a sadhu before he met Ramanand Swami. So, for that purpose, he also not made any arguments with his guru like, I am a sadhu, I am renunciant. Why are you giving me this job? This is a householder's duty. This is not a job performed by any renunciant. He didn't make any arguments or any doubts, nothing. He just followed the commands given by his guru. Moreover, in the Vachanamrut, Maharaj says, Vachanamrut Garuda 2nd chapter 51, Sriji Maharaj states, only one who follows the commands of God and Satpurus is behaving as an Atma. So why he is Gunatit, why he is considered as a Brahmarup, or why he is considered as like Anadi Mukt? Because he always follow Maharaj's Agnya. After following his Guru, meaning Ramanand Swami's each and every single Agnya, Swami Muktanand Swami, he followed Maharaj's Agnya as well. See, in the Vachanamrut, in the Vachanamrut Garuda middle chapter 58, Maharaj says, having said this, Sriji Maharaj then commanded Muktanand Swami, you too should continuously preach and write scriptures related to your Sampradaya and your Ishtadev for the rest of your life. This is my only command to you for as long as you live. As long as you live. And with great respect for these words of Sriji Maharaj, Muktanand Swami resolved to devoutly abide by them. Then folding his hands, he bowed before Sriji Maharaj. See, in the Vachanamrut, Maharaj himself commanded Swami Shri, you should continuously preach and write scriptures related to your Sampradaya and your Ishtadev for the rest of your life. This is my only command to you for as long as you live. So what did Muktanand Swami? Muktanand Swami did the same thing until, even though he was very old and he could not hold a pen in his hand for writing. Sometimes while writing, his pen fell down due to his old age. Up to that, Swami Shri following these commands given by Maharaj. Moreover, he preached as well, not only write, but as it is said to preach. So Swami Shri had preached the same thing to Dada Khajar. And the great scripture, haricharitramrut, the biggest scripture in Hindi language as well, not only for our Sampradaya but also in the world. There is no such great scripture in the Hindi language. So that come out. Why? Because Swami Shri had followed Maharaj Niyam. So our Adi Gurudev, he had this much important to follow Niyams given by Maharaj, given by his Satpurus, his Sadguru Ramanand Swami. So, as a disciple of Muktanand Swami's Parampara, me as a sadhu and you as a devotee, we must follow Niyams given by Maharaj and our Sadguru. If we are not following these Niyams, we are not considered as Muktanandi. Why? Because our Adi Gurudev, he followed each and every commands given by his Sadguru. He followed each and every commands given by Maharaj himself until his last moment of his life, or we can say until he got disability. So how should be our behavior in the satsang? So Swami Shri, as according to the Vachanamrut, Swami Shri continuously written and prone his discipleship. And even by observing just one niyam, by the commands of his manifest sadhu, one can attain salvation. This is what Maharaj says. Merely by following only a small niyam given by Sadguru, any kind of Jeev can attain liberation easily. So finally, Maharaj says in this sentence, we must have to follow each and every command given by our Ekantik Satpurus Puja Guruji. Let us see in the next, what is in it for me. Like, we have to do many things in our life, and how can I follow the niyams? Right? That question arises in our life. But everything should be okay. Why? Because while driving a car, we always consider all the niyams of the traffic and we follow it. Why? We are driving a car. I have no time to keep it into my mind. No, we are following each and every traffic rules. Same way, while performing any activities from early morning to late night, while performing each and every activities, we must have to follow the niyams, satsang niyam as well as the niyams prescribed for the world. Both kinds of niyam we have to follow. Our priorities in following niyams: first and foremost, study. Puja Guruji's Agnya for all of you who are whether in elementary school, who may be in middle school, who may be in high school, maybe in college, maybe in master degrees. They all have to study well. That is Agnya of Puja Guruji. And that niyam we must have to follow. After completing the worldly education, everyone have to study the scriptures. That is also Agnya of our Ekantik Satpurus Puja Guruji. Moreover, even while studying in college, you must have to read Vachanamrut, paragraph of Vachanamrut, if you do not have that much time, or any single particular Vat or something, any scriptures, any charitra, any religious book, you must have to read, must have to study. That is also Agnya of Puja Guruji. Second priority is puja. That's our niyam, that's our rules. We must have to follow in the morning. After taking a shower, first we have to perform a morning puja. Third one is good company. That is also Agnya of Maharaj as well as Puja Guruji. Do not come into peer pressure. Do not keep any bad companies in your educational environment. And fourth one is Ghar Sabha. This is also must. If you are not living in your home, meaning you are at dorm, that doesn't matter. But whenever you come to home, meaning in weekends, during vacation, you must have to follow these niyams of Ghar Sabha. Moreover, even though you are in dorm, you can join in Ghar Sabha through the Zoom or through video call. You can do this if you want, and if you do not want, you cannot do anything. So, by giving priorities to this fourth thing, we can maintain our satsang as well as our social as well as our family, or your all kinds of safeguarding your life for all four directions by following these four kinds of giving priorities, these four kind of all four directions of your life. Study for your great future. Puja, just as we are taking in oxygen, the same way, meaning food and water, that is our puja. Study for our future. good company, that is for character building, and Ghar Sabha for solution or resolving the problems or not happening problems in your social or family life. So in this all direction we can get protection. Next, yes, Puja Guruji's life is full of, like, whenever we observe his any of activities, he's always remain in the niyam prescribed by Maharaj, his Sadguru. Moreover, even the niyams made for the other santos and the devotees for organizing any event or organizing a mandir or something like that. But Puja Guruji always strictly adhere to those niyams as well. Even though he is a Sadguru, he is Sadpurush, we are following his commands. Still, by his life, by his behavior, he wants to give us a message. If I am Sadguru of yours, I can do anything, and still I am not doing anything, I am completely keep myself in the niyam. So you are not a Sadguru, you are merely a disciple, you are merely a devotee. So you must have to be in niyams. How Puja Guruji's his life, there's like thousands of incidents happen. Many devotees, many santos have observed his life. Once it is said, it is the Agnya of Maharaj not even picking a flower without the permission of its owner, and even for the purpose of giving it to bhagwan. Once Puja Guruji was in Vichran in Chicago. So at that time, with this Thakurji Maharaj Santo and Bhakta, Puja Guruji was in a particular devotee's house for Padramni. While coming out of the house, after completing the Padramni, Puja Guruji found a very beautiful flower in the garden. So he stopped there until the owner of the house, meaning the devotee, he came out of the house, and Puja Guruji gently he asked him, "Bhagat, can I take this flower?" That devotee folding his hands, "Guruji, why are you asking me? This is yours." But Puja Guruji said, "No, Bhagat, it is Agnya of Maharaj, and that's for everyone." And as he got permission from the devotee, Puja Guruji picked up the flower and offered it to Thakurji Maharaj. And just think, if we are at place of Puja Guruji, what we were doing, we just liked things, immediately we pick up the flower and give it to bhagwan. But think, bhagwan would become pleased upon us or not? No. Why? Because we have given him by breaching the rules. Moreover, how was he strict to adhere the niyam? We knew the story. In the year of 1994, Puja Guruji was on a religious tour of United Kingdom and certain parts of Africa. This story took place in United Kingdom. There Puja Guruji lived in a Swaminarayan temple, and they had held a parayan for which Puja Guruji was the main speaker, meaning main vakta. He was doing a katha. Everything was going well, and suddenly, once upon a time, while doing a katha, Puja Guruji fell unconscious on the Vyaspit. Everyone was in great shock. No one knew what had happened, but later they figured out that Puja Guruji had a serious heart stroke. Then Puja Guruji was immediately taken to the nearest hospital, and even after reaching the hospital, Puja Guruji was still unconscious. Seeing his condition, the doctors there immediately admitted Puja Guruji's case to the emergency department and had him taken to the ICU. The doctors performed their task, and a few hours later, Puja Guruji became conscious, and all of his health reports showed that he was fine. Knowing that his case was no longer an emergency, the doctors transferred him out of the ICU to another simple room in the hospital. According to the saints' code of conduct, they have to avoid interaction with females at any cost. Hence, from beforehand, the devotees requested the hospital staff did not have any female enter Puja Guruji's room. The hospital staff agreed, and then the saints and devotees left Puja Guruji's room. Puja Guruji was resting. They all went to the near balcony with the doctor and started discussing about Puja Guruji's health. However, when no one was in Puja Guruji's room, a female nurse came into his room by mistake. As soon as this happened, without wasting any time, Puja Guruji ran out of the room to the balcony where the saints and devotees were standing with the doctor. When he ran out of the room, he had IV needles in his hand, but without caring about that, he simply ran out of the room. The saints became shocked after seeing such thing. They asked Guruji why he did this. Then Puja Guruji said, "A lady came into my room. I don't want to remain here anymore in this hospital. Please take me back to the Mandir." Everyone was surprised that to follow a niyam of Shriji Maharaj, Guruji didn't even care about his life, because his health was not that much good to going back to the Mandir. Doctors suggest to keep him in hospital at least 3 to 4 days. But he was determined, like his determination regarding his niyam is so firm, and nothing would, no one can make any kind of arguments with him. So this is what his firmness to follow a niyam. And how's about us? Something happened to us, we thought today I have a little headache, I do not want to go to Mandir. I'm not feeling good, okay, let me call to Swami, I'm not coming to Mandir. This is not the way we are following the path of this righteousness. If we want to be something in the satsang, meaning in the eyes of Bhagwan, if we want to be a perfect devotees, we must have to follow the niyams. And if we many times lapse the niyams, please consider our Adi Gurudev Swami Shri in our mind, as well as Puja Guruji's such kind of incident. Puja Guruji's incident, our Adi Gurudev Swami Shri's life, they would give us the strength to follow the niyams. If we keep these incidents of Puja Guruji's life as well as the life incident of Swami Shri, then and then we can get the strength, and then we can be able to follow each and every niyams. Otherwise, today if everything is smooth, all the situations are good, then we are following the niyams, and tomorrow if the adverse circumstances happen to our life or some bad situation happen to us, and at that time we are not completely adhered to our niyams. And for that purpose, if we want to be safe in satsang by following niyams, we must have to consider these incidents in our mind. Repeatedly we must need to recall every day such kind of incident. How was the life of my Adi Gurudev? How was the life of my Sadguru? Then and then we can be able to easily pass these tough situations. Otherwise, whenever you got a peer pressure from your friends in colleges and dorm, or whenever then at the time you might not remain safe. Whenever you have any kind of contacts with the bad company, you also merge with them. So, for following Niyams is very, very important for us. Let we see in the last slide. Where do we want to go in life? Education and career, Guru and Haribhakto Swabhavs, we all want to go in these particular areas. For getting an education and career, we must have to follow Niyams. Otherwise, what happened? You got an education, you got a good job, but if you are not following Niyams prescribed by Maharaj and Sadguru, what will happen? You just earn money, you just got the luxurious life, but you could not get the satsang, you could not have any inner peace. You would not have any kind of peaceful environment in your house. Even though you have all kinds of luxuries in your house, still you are not feeling peace. This would happen. That's why we must need to follow the Niyams. Moreover, without following Niyams, even though we have attained the Sadguru, even though we have attained this Loyadham Parivar, even though we have attained this Santo and Bhakto, but still without following Niyams, we could not even come in front of Ekantik Satpurush like that of Puja Guruji. We could not be able to be with Santo and Bhakto. Why? Because we are not following rules, and that's why something like distance remain in our heart with Satpurush and Santo and Bhakto. And that's why gradually the distance become longer and longer. And Swabhavs, not following Niyams is definitely lead us towards increasing or fortifying our Swabhavs. If we follow Niyams, then definitely everyone has their some nature which is always disturbing for others. But by following Niyams, we can suppress our Swabhavs, our such kind of natures. On the other hand, if we are not following Niyams, then what happens? Our Swabhav, our such natures disturb others. And we totally fail to receive Rajipo of others. And if we are not receiving Rajipo, then definitely we are receiving Kurajipo, meaning Maharaj, Santo, Bhakto, everyone become displeased upon us. Even though sometimes they would not say anything to us, but still Maharaj, while remaining in their hearts, he become displeased upon us. And because of that Kurajipo, we will gradually decrease in the satsang, gradually falling from the satsang. And one day we will totally very far from the satsang. Why this would happen? Merely by not following the Niyams. So, in last, we must have to follow the Niyams, and for following the Niyams, we must keep our Adi Gurudev's life incident as well as Puja Guruji's life incident. Those incidents would give us tremendous strength to follow each and every Niyams prescribed by Maharaj as well as our Sadguru. By saying this, my humble Jai Swaminarayan. Sripatim Sridharam Sarvadeveshwaram Bhaktidhar Matmajam Vasudevam Harim Madhavam Keshavam Kamadam Karanam Swaminarayanam Neelakantham Bhaje. Sri Thakur Ji Maharaj Ni Jai.